You've done the right thing. You've insulated your ceiling. You've insulated your underfloor. But you're still cold. Best you finish the job. And to match your walls.
Okay, well, one of the features of the last couple of weeks obviously has been the pay equity issue. It's an issue that won't go away because essentially it won't be allowed to be going away by a whole series of activists, but particularly by the centre-left coalition or opposition in party as well. And then a whole group of feminists, I guess you could describe them, and women who believe passionately in the pay equity cause, which we can debate on any day of the week, but there we go. But a group of those activists came together yesterday. They're all former members of Parliament representing Labour, National and the Greens and New Zealand First, in actual fact, former female MPs, led by a former National MP, academic and activist Marilyn Waring. The Labour MPs, well, the MPs that gathered to support Marilyn Waring in her activism on the pay equity issue include Leanne Dalziel, former Mayor of Christchurch, Steve Chadwick, former Mayor of Rotorua, Nanaia Mahuta, Lynn Pillay, former National MPs Jackie Blue, Joe Hayes and Belinda Vernon, former Green MP Sue Bradford, who'll be talking to just in a second, and former New Zealand First MP Rhea Bond. Now, they are going to form, these 10 former female MPs, something called a People's Select Committee on Pay Equity. And their spokesperson on this issue with us this morning is former Green MP and activist Sue Bradford, and she joins us now. Sue, welcome to the show. Lovely to have you on.
Oh, kia ora. Great to be here.
I didn't realise just before we started that somebody's actually written a biography of you. Constant Radical, The Life and Times of Sue Bradford. It was published, 7-8 years ago. Was that fun?
Yes, have you read it?
No, I've just only found out it exists by reading your Wikipedia entry.
Oh, you'd find out all you wanted to know about me, Michael. Yeah. More than
I really want to know. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it a
don't
good
feel
book?
obliged. Well, people have said that. I mean, it was written by a journalist, Jenny Chamberlain, who used to work for North and South, and she put a huge amount of research and time into it. A lot of people write their own autobiographies, but she came to me when I was still in Parliament and asked if she could write my biography. And it took me back a bit. It's quite intense having someone investigating your whole life. But I think she did a really good job of it for those that are interested. But if you're not, Kate Pai, no worries.
You must be also very, very proud of your daughter, who has forged a very good career in the media herself, political reporter. I see she's just left there, TVNZ as well. But gosh, she looks like you. Do people tell you that all the time?
Both of us are blessed with this in the supermarkets and cafes of the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
You must get confused. Well, I mean, you're 70-something now, but you must...
It's not confusing. I'm a lot older. She obviously is much younger than I am.
Yeah, that's right. But I'm just saying, I'm looking at your photo of, when you were a Green MP. Must have been, this looks like it was taken about 99, 2000. Splitting image, it's amazing. Okay, tell me, it's obviously a stunt, but I mean, stunts are fair. This is politics after all, this People's Select Committee on Pay Equity. Who's running the show? How did you get involved? Is the initiative Marilyn Waring's, or does it come from somewhere else?
It's Marilyn Waring's initiative. She immediately after the government put the new law through under urgency and took everyone that cares about this issue by surprise. It was almost, I think, the next day that Marilyn rang me, as she would have done the other female MPs, and told me about her plan to set up this People's Select Committee with MPs from across the political spectrum. And I thought, what a good idea. So after a little bit of thought, because we're not being paid for it or anything, it's going to take a gouge out of my time, and I'm still working. So it's quite a big input we have to make. But I thought, gosh, this is such a good initiative because it is so shocking that Parliament, that the coalition government passed this law through without any public consideration, submissions, regulatory reviews, anything, all the normal things. Like if you can imagine, like if the government passed a retrospective tax on farmers, and people up in Auckland said, "Oh, that's great. We'll put a tax on farmers. We'll ram it through under urgency." And then the farmers of the south, wake up the next morning and discover, "My God, they put a tax on us." Like how the farmers would feel. Well, that's
But this
how
isn't a
women
tax,
workers
though, is it?
feel.
I mean, this
But
is to
but
do.
it has a economic impact, a massive economic impact, in
Well,
the immediate future
yeah,
of
but
the
there's nothing to.
33 prospective claims
I understand what you're
they just
saying, but
got rid
at
of.
the end of
They
the
just
day,
got
these
rid
are
of them
claims,
without.
aren't they,
Yep.
Sue? They're
But they had
claims at
a
the end of the day.
their claims, but they were claims that had already had a lot of work, and it is a very intense process from what I've understand. I've never been part of a process. I'm sure I'm going to find out a lot more about it shortly.
Yeah.
But okay, if there is some substance to what the government says, to what Brooke Van Velden said in the House about why they had to do this under urgency or why they had to make the change, let's find out. Let's find out on behalf of those women workers who've had their claims cancelled and those women workers who may in future have tried to achieve pay equity. Because from what we can see, there are still plenty of claims, and the government itself must be accepting that, and that they're also boldly saying, well, we've saved $13 billion by knocking these claims on the head. So obviously the government and the government departments believe there was some substance to these claims. So we're not just making this up, but what we'd like to do through the select committee processes, we know we're not in Parliament anymore, we know we have no power, but what we can do is invite submissions from anyone, whatever your point of view around the country, whatever your political background, male, female, anybody, make a submission into the select committee. There'll be plenty of time to make the submissions, and we'll then formally go through a process backed by
Okay.
Secretariat.
Can I ask
Yeah.
this obvious question though? And it is, I'm assuming, rightly or wrongly, that all 10 of you are in support of the process that existed prior to being changed or altered or amended, or was amended really, by the government's actions of last week. Is that correct? So all of you are,
Oh,
in essence, advocates for pay equity full stop.
I don't know, Michael, because I haven't met. There has been no. The only person I've talked to about this is Marilyn Waring. There's been no meeting of this group online or in any other way. We're not going to come together till the first hearing, which will be on the 11th of August in Wellington. So I actually don't know what the opinion of any of the other
Okay.
women,
All right. Fair enough.
what
Yeah.
their opinions might be. And of course, there are four former national and other parties there, so we may well have different views. I,
All right. No,
I don't
okay.
know. I
No,
can't
well,
assume that.
it'd be interesting if you did, because, it is clearly designed to embarrass the government, isn't it, as to the decision that it's made.
Well, it's designed to actually find out, including seeking submissions from employers and others, businesses and others in the community who may absolutely support what the government's done. We're seeking submissions from anyone with an interest so that we can, hear those submissions, read them, have them analysed, and then produce by the end of the year a proper report like the one we would have hoped a parliamentary select committee would have done. Parliamentary select committees, as I know you understand, are like the democratic powerhouse of Parliament. It's where people can be heard and have their voices recognised and their submissions analysed and
Yeah, you've
reported
obviously
on.
got a
That's
much
not
more you've obviously
what's
got a
that?
much more positive view of select committees than me, because I think at the end of the day they're just a tool of the executive. But there you go. Listen,
Well,
the other
it's
thing
both.
is, but the government hasn't got rid of pay equity. It's changing how it's structured and the way in which claims are made and assessed. There will be an introduction of those amendments by legislation at which a select committee process will occur. Aren't you duplicating what's already going to happen and is gazetted by the government?
No, not at all. Because we'll look as broadly and deeply at the whole picture, not just focused on the immediate changes that this government has made. From the preliminary assessment by those who are far more skilled in this area than I am, is that the changes the government, Brooke Van Velden and company, are making will make it virtually impossible for people to make pay equity claims because they've become so restricted in what they can do. For example, comparisons have to be made within the same employer rather than looking outwards to the wider employer situation. Just for one example, but again, we can look at what the government's done. People can submit on that, but we'll be asking people to put all their thoughts, all their knowledge, all their experience of putting claims forward, and it will be a place where everyone's views will be welcome. If there's debate on the committee, that's great. It's really good when you can work things through in a committee, and then a report will be made. And I think that will be educational and helpful.
You're actually parading. Oh, sorry, not parading. You are suggesting this morning a process that seems benign, but I've just been thinking about it as you've been talking. You're going to need a secretariat. You're going to need people to fly your members of parliament to these particular places. You're now going to need to house and feed them. You're going to need to write up reports. You're going to need to duplicate submissions that are received so that everybody's got them. There's a fair bit of time, effort, energy, administrative ability, and money involved in that. Somebody has to be financing that.
You've done the right thing. You've insulated your ceiling. You've insulated your underfloor. But you're still cold. Best you finish the job. And to match your walls.